So I'm back home and starting trying to finish up my drawing. 984 is here, which is kind of like a dystopian kind of version of free speech being attacked by the big corporations, Facebook, Google, Twitter, who are now the fascist state, who are going around busting in doors, sealing them off with hate speech and everything. So I'm going to be, from now on, rather than walking around the home and like my sister's house, they weren't too happy with me doing that, so I apologise. I can't really do it at home because my mum won't like that, and I listen to my mum. That's the one thing that one person can tell me what to do. I might do it once in a blue moon, but not very often. So, what I'm going to do is, rather than just talking, I'll do drawings. And if people just want to watch me draw, they can watch me draw. If people want to just listen to me ramble, they can listen to me ramble. So you can turn the video off and just hear, or you could just just watch and turn the sound off, or you can do both, which means you'll kind of learn while you're watching me draw and learn how to draw as well. So I'm holding a camera, so I'm not going to do the most complicated things. Yeah, so don't. You can probably think, oh, how mundane. I can't do it with one hand. I need to kind of like steady myself and concentrate and when I'm talking. So I'm going to do things that are quite trivial. Like what I'm going to do today is just to kind of like refine certain areas, like with the glass and everything. So you can see this glass. I'm trying to detail stuff up like that I can do whilst talking. I wouldn't do the face, for God's sake, because I still got to add detail to the hair and the face. So one thing I want to say is on something important. On Saturday, which is June the 9th, I was asked to speak by, Vinny, big up Vinny. I think he's from the Football Lads Association. That's not happening now for reasons I can't go into. Let's just say it's more political, so I appreciate them asking me. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit relieved because the heat that would have come from that particular speech would have just been intense. And I'm not sure if I was kind of ready to take that amount of exposure because it's a big event. So I would have done it because I feel like, I owe Tommy for kind of like exposing the grooming gangs when nobody else would, especially the Sikh aspect. So I would have done it anyway, but, not doing it now, but I'm going to be there anyway, so I don't think it should be hard to spot me, I wonder how you'll spot me. Could it be that, a little brown face among millions of white people with a turban on? No, there will be a mixture of people, not all white people. There's not a mixture, so I'm going with some of the Speakers Corner crew. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start kind of drawing and... Before I go on, actually, let me, because I think it's one thing, I don't plug myself very well in the sense of my services. I'm very terrible like this. I just kind of like, whenever I exhibit, I don't even give out cards or anything. I'm just very bad like this. So, I'll kind of show you, like, obviously, I do other stuff. If you look on my website, I'll put a link to it at the bottom. Let me close the thingy. Put a link to it at the bottom. As you can see, go by Pentacular Artist. Although I do a lot of stuff, I actually do clients' commissions, like portraits of people. So I'm not too bad at that. So if anyone's portraits done and everything, I do a competitive price. Right now, there's a lot of Sikh people because a lot of my user base is actually Sikh, to be honest with you. So you can see, I need to do that properly. I'll do it properly later next time. I do loads, and I also do pets as well. Actually, that's my father. I should do pets as well. So animals and pets. There's one of little, I forgot what his name is. Oh, Barney, little Barney. I need to really kind of like sort my website out a bit. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is, I'm talking about autism. I'm going to address a guy called BLE. And, he's written down a long kind of, I'd say, constructive comment. I've been getting a lot of kind of like comments about me being on the autistic spectrum. Do you know what? I should really just show. It is me, so I don't want to show my room too much because it's my studio is a bit of a mess. And if my mum ever saw these videos, she'd be very upset I'm showing too much of this messy studio. And I'm trying to get a better studio at some point. Well, you can see here some of my drawings on the side, and you can see I've got them all over the room and all over here and all over there, just to kind of like give me inspiration, blah blah blah. And a lot of people are going to say they're unsold. Yes, they are, because my Seek artwork I don't actually sell. I do them for just for the community, what I call Seva, which is mean like, I don't sell them. And so I've just started. I've spent like 2 or 3 years building up a Seek portfolio. Now I'm doing my mainstream stuff, and you know, I'm not selling yet because it's not the right time. You know, I need to build a reputation first. I don't just start selling everything. I've got older artwork that I've got loads of old artwork that people want. I might just do a little video, and if anyone wants to buy it, buy it. I don't really have no use for it anymore. I will never sell stuff like that, like my Spider-Man. Love that shit. So yeah, I'm gonna answer Bin Bialy about the autism. The thing is, I've had a lot of comments about being on the spectrum. I'm not even drawing, for God's sakes. I've had a lot of comments about being on the spectrum. This actually electric eraser. When I want to pull out whites. Don't know how good this is going to be for me to do a drawing and talking, to be honest with you. It's already turning into a bit of a mess. So he has made a long comment, and I've had lots of comments, quite a few videos made as well, saying, "Oh, leave Raj alone. He's on autistic spectrum. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not in control of his mind, so he doesn't know what he's doing. He's on the autistic spectrum. His brain is not functioning properly. Leave him alone. Poor boy, poor boy." Now, I'm going to say it again. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. And I know you're going to attribute me saying shut up now to the fact that I'm on the spectrum. This just shows how condescending and patronizing people are. Maybe I'm just telling you to shut up because I want to tell you to shut up. Don't attribute everything to autism. And this is one of the reasons I didn't actually want to tell anyone, because I knew as soon as I said it, everything I do will be attributed to the fact that I'm on the autistic spectrum. And this is like very patronizing, condescending, rude, and even in a way destructive, because it will kind of put undue pressure on people on the spectrum, thinking that, you know, none of their points are valid. So, you know, it will cause a problem in terms of their, I'd say, their confidence. So every time they talk, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're on the autistic spectrum, man. So, you know, one of the things is that obviously this Bialy, although I think his comments the most constructive, and there's a lot of good points in there. Not all of them are relevant to me though, and so I'm going to go through them as quick as I can. So I want to firstly, before I go on, because it seems like the reason why a lot of people are upset that and using the autism card on me is because I don't agree with their view. Now I'm going to ask you something. If I said Islam is the best and there's no grooming gangs, yeah, am I still talking from a perspective that is influenced by autism? So is that view, if I said that, is that view, yeah, not valid either? Do you understand? It's like, if I'm against you, my autism is kind of affecting my mind, my thought process, and if I'm with you, oh, it's fine, he's actually thinking properly. And so, can you see the hypocrisy here, and why I can't take these comments seriously? I'm going to get this a lot, and I'm going to expose the bigotry, because it is bigotry. I know some people do suffer from autism, and it's quite debilitating. And I know others that are like geniuses, man. I'm talking about geniuses. Like, when you speak to them, your mind is blown, and make everybody look stupid, because they don't have that baggage of what you call kind of society's norms holding them down and stuff, and so they can think logically without pressure from outside. And one of the things is that, you know, obviously, you know, it was trying to be quite, you know, trying to give me some advice and saying that he realised I was on the spectrum, saying that I'm repetitive in my comments. And yeah, I admit I'm repetitive in my comments, but so are others. I've seen people posting the same crap 24/7. Does it make them what I call autistic or wrong? It's not just a trait that people on the autistic spectrum have, even though I admit, um, I am kind of repetitive in a way, and so this is just actually a rubber. I use loads of equipment that people don't realise. Look how many rubbers I've got, different types of pencils, different types of thingy. Look at that. I mean, everyone thinks I just use one thing. These things, all of this stuff costs a lot of money as well, Um, and so, people do on the spectrum have an obsession, and I admit I'm an obsessive kind of character. And it does say, you have a responsibility to keep yourself in an environment that is conducive to your best functioning. Obsessive compulsion and half-formed thoughts on matters of religion, grooming gangs, politics, and Indian history are a symptom for you. Half-baked, half-formed thoughts. Do I take that as an insult? I don't know. It sounds quite patronising to me. Half-formed thoughts. Now, if I agreed with you, they would be fully formed thoughts, wouldn't they? So can you not see that the reason why you're butthurt is because of the fact I'm not agreeing with you, not because of the fact that I'm on the spectrum? One thing I do have to agree with, he does say that, you have a responsibility to keep yourself in an environment that is conducive to your best functioning. And yes, this is it. Yeah, my little studio. I'm in here for 90% of my life. And I'm drawing and I'm doing stuff I love. So yes, I agree with that. For people on the spectrum, try and do something that you're good at, because I find it difficult to work with people. I've had issues when I've had 1 or 2 jobs. People on the spectrum have a problem finding works, but I have worked and I've had problems, major problems, because I kind of have a tendency to say my piece, not really caring about the consequences afterwards, and then I just believe if I think it's true. So actually what I'm doing now is just putting a bit of charcoal, because I am a charcoal and pencil artist, so with the charcoal is what I use for the blacks, to kind of highlight the thingy. So you can see I'm going to add blacks and stuff. Oh yeah, before I go on though, a lot of people are asking, do I do colour artwork? I'm going to go over it in another video, but yeah, I do. One of the things, I'm actually I'm a product designer. This is one of my superheroes that I created, when you look, I do colour artwork, but I don't really do it for artwork like that. I do it for character designs. So here's my badass Sikh superhero. I'll do another video on this one, and he's going to be destroying ISIS and the Khawarij, one-man army. So you can see he's put his mask on, got to, and it's not me. I'm no way like that. That guy's a freaking beast. A lot of people say, oh, that's what I would like to look like. And so obviously, I do product design. I was a designer at uni. These are all freehand. This is my kind of gun. I'll go over it again. Oh, look at that. The freaking thing fell off. Didn't even realise. So yeah, it's a gun. It's called an RT-74, which is named after me, Rajinder Towel, 1974, which is when I was born. As you can see, it splits. So I'm quite got a good mix of skills. I'm very imaginative, so that helps. And and also this, if you have a look, some of the bad guys, man. Look at these bad guys. Yeah, so not entirely just one-dimensional in my artwork. One of the things is, like people do say that people on the autistic spectrum tend to be extremely focused and good at a particular subject matter, and the reason they are is not necessarily because they're born with that talent. It's because they tend to obsess about it and do it all the time. When I was by the time I hit 15, this is a comic I'd done when I was 15 at school. And you can see I was a Sikh superhero and I was freaking pretty. And it's still one of my best drawings I've ever done, actually. Spent ages on it, like, a lot of violence and stuff. And I love this drawing. So I don't know when I was 15. I actually got my comic published when I was 16 in an Asian newspaper called Eastern Eye. First ever Sikh superhero. And a pretty massive achievement for such a young age. I think this is why my life went downhill after that. I'd achieved everything I wanted. which was I keep on trying to draw, but I can't. And so, oh, the other thing is, like, I did what they call this, the original. So if anyone sees this, the original Share Punjab logo, not a copy, not a thingy, but the original. I'm gonna redo it because it looks pretty bad now. But at the time when I done it, it looked freaking great, and it's still being used. So this is the original. Yeah, I do logos and stuff, so I'm kind of plugging my services. This is actually something I just recently done for one of the very few people I get on with in the world. Gets, big up Gets. And I just did it. It's actually just pen and ink, nothing too fancy. And I'm actually like trying to design. This is done with Big Biro, just sketches. This is how I sketch. And so this is a character I want to bring into fruition. He's part of our superhero group. Seek as well, obviously. Someone needs to do it. Casa Force. Casa is our kind of like the true Sikhs, the true warriors. And so yeah, I'm doing that. So yeah, let's carry on. As you can see, I've got more talent than just doing these little pencil drawings. I can do other stuff as well. So I just need to really diversify my skills. Actually, I'm very bad at kind of doing that. I'm just like, not many people know what I can do, and I need to start doing that. So the other thing that was said is, I'm a misanthrope, and I prefer to be in isolation, and that when I'm under pressure, I start to kind of ramble and say stuff like F6, and that if I don't watch out, I could lose my kind of support from the community and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, you're kind of correct. And I want to say something. Losing your cool while under pressure from people, like 30 people, and saying something stupid isn't exclusive to autism. It is a trait that everybody can have. I admit, I have to admit one thing, that when I go Speaker's Corner and I come back from Speaker's Corner, I'm sometimes out cold for 2 days mentally, because my brain is just so overloaded with people. Depends how busy it is and stuff like that, and it is very difficult for me to function sometimes. And I'm trying to kind of like, hopefully my brain gets used to it, but it's been like this forever. Like, I get very tired. I know it's something to do with autism, because I've been in situations with other people, like family members, and we've gone somewhere and they're perfectly fine when they come back, and then I'm just absolutely knackered. Actually, this is a blending stump for anyone that wants to know. So when I want to blend my artwork, as you can see, come in various sizes. And so I obviously I do, it does hurt, it does cause me issues in terms of being around a lot of people. Not at the time, I'm okay, but when I come back, I feel very, very exhausted, tired for days, and I can't, my mind just is like fried. But the things he's saying, it's going to affect my career, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. For me, I have two things in my life that I love, in terms of like what I find relaxing to do, and people might not find it relaxing. One is like debating and stuff. I love it. Debating, arguing, whatever you want to call it. I like it. It's therapeutic for me. And art. And so Speaker's Corner is like, I love Speaker's Corner. I love it. People might say it's destructive for me. I'll deem if it's destructive, and I'll live with the consequences. I'm not a baby, I'm not a kid. I'm not a baby. I can make my own decisions. So he's trying to kind of like say, oh, they're not going to fly you to LA. And he did say you got beautiful artwork. Thanks, bro. If you heard saying, the wider world is not going to consider your Canadian people who remain wearing your clothes. It talked about the fact that I like to wear similar clothes all the time. Yeah, it is a bit of a problem. I'm going to try and buy a kurta pajama that's slightly different, with like maybe because I've got 6 of the same pair of black Indian clothing that I wear, and loads of the same tracky bottom, but I might buy something with with a slightly different collar, just so it kind of distinguishes that for another one. But it'll be pretty much exactly the same, if I'm being honest with you, because I love that particular style. Here's another rubber. Do you know what I'm saying? I use all these different types to create what I need to create. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is quite funny. He says, you also don't understand social situations very well, and it's easy to become a token seek for Tommy and feel beloved, and you realize you're a pawn. Now, that particular point sounds quite cruel, but it is a true trait of people on the spectrum. I remember when I was younger, there was loads of situations where I was kind of used and I didn't understand body language, or that person was actually making fun of me rather than what I call was a friend. And so I misconstrued a lot of relationships or friendships as being friends when they were really just bullies. And so that is a true thing for people on the spectrum as well, no doubt. And so anyone watching this, you've got to be very careful. Now, does that apply to me today? No. No. I'm fully in control. I'm as tough as now as mentally. I've been through it and I know the signs. And so I'm very wary when people start to behave in a particular way and start talking to me in a particular way. I can pick that sign up now. Because like anything, you learn. Maybe it takes longer for people on the spectrum to learn that particular social cues, but I have learned a lot. So no, they can't use me. My point is, when you're in a secure environment, you produce. Yeah, so yeah, this is quite good. It says when you're in your secure environment, you produce art, beautiful art, and you're an active and productive member of the Committee for Autism Society. Yeah, so yeah, it's true. I think people who are on the spectrum should try and keep within an environment. A lot of people say to me, "I will start working." I can't because it's going to send me down a depressive state. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I don't earn like masses of money. I'm just like doing something I love. I'm not a money-orientated person, which is probably problematic in a way. I need to start really kind of thinking myself as a business rather than just Raj, the artist, the speakers, because I'm kind of like not really. I've never really thought of art as a business per se, and I've got to start doing that and being a bit more what I call not ruthless, but more. Here's another different type of square-edged thingy, and so I need to start, being more kind of ruthless in that sense, so I can make this into a career that's not just something I love, but also something that I can, live comfortably on. Right now it's okay, but in the future, I can't be so complacent and just drawing. I've got to be more of a business guy. Yeah, so he says the park is the exact opposite of a safe place. This is why you end up producing this mess of thoughts and half-formed opinions that are chaotic, that contributing anything, and will just hurt my life. Do yourself a favour, the park is not for you. If you want to bring attention to grooming gangs, the sins of history, this is not investing. But I've just kind of like not read the whole thing. So it's basically saying, oh, the park is not the best place for you to highlight these issues. I appreciate your advice, but I will not take it. Reason being because what you find as being productive is your subjective opinion. Yeah, that's your opinion. What I find to be productive is my opinion, and for me, I think it's a good way to raise awareness, and it has raised awareness. It has raised awareness, and I will keep on doing it. And I won't always talk about grooming and stuff unless it keeps on occurring, but I will keep on going until I'm bored. To be honest with you, the only time I'll stop is if I'm bored. And if I get to that stage, then I'll stop because I don't want to go somewhere, because it takes a lot of my time, and if I feel like it's taking up too much time and it's boring, I won't go. I'll just stop. You're the guy for something. Oh, thanks. Beautiful art and autism awareness. I agree with that as well. Nice comment, thank you. You probably have other talents too. Yeah, I do. But the park is toxic to you and will make you behave toxically in return. Step away. This is sincere advice from someone who doesn't hate you and wants you to be well. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I do agree with you to quite a high degree on that. The park is toxic. It has an ability to really kind of make you behave in a way that's not really productive, in the sense that when I first was going in there, I was ranting and raving like a lunatic, and I've toned that down a bit, but I wouldn't agree with you in the sense that I shouldn't go. for me, it has so many positives as well that you probably don't see. I think it's one of the things is that it's allowing me to kind of like release a lot of energy, pent up energy that, or anger in a way that it's been frustrating in a lot of ways, and I need that. Otherwise, it's just gonna kind of grow into like like a real devil of a problem. Because long term, if you keep them painting up, it can get worse. And so I think it's good to release that amount of energy and just say, look, all right, I've got this issue and I want to kind of highlight it. Otherwise, what will happen is over a long period of time, it will start affecting me mentally in a negative way, which I think it did in the past. And I enjoy kind of talking about other subject matter. We don't just go there talking about that. We talk about loads of stuff. So we have a conversation about most stuff. I'm going to try and stop it now. I know I didn't really draw much. It wasn't really that productive in terms of the artwork, to be honest. I didn't really do anything. I was talking most of the time. Yeah, so I will try and talk and draw again. I don't know how good that is, to be honest. You probably didn't see anything even happening. I think I've only done one tiny thing in 26 minutes. But I've managed to kind of answer stuff and go over stuff. So I'll probably go over some other issues in the future. Anyway, say bye to 1984 is here with the fascist state, boot on the head, constantly forever. I think that was said in 1984. And so yeah, you can see here. Anyway, take care.